Story about?
Well, today my story is about a man called William Buba. He's a Kenyan working and living in the US. He came for vacation, for a 1 month vacation here in Nairobi, and coronavirus happened and he got stuck here. And being someone who works in a job that is a contract to contract basis, he had to find a way of earning a living during these 6 months that he's been here. Let's take a look at the story. William came to Kenya in February this year for a month-long vacation, as is his usual routine, not knowing that 1 month later, a coronavirus outbreak would put the globe to a halt. COVID-19 containment measures were put in place, among them the suspension of international flights into and out of the Kenyan airspace. William, who was set to go back to work in March this year, got stuck in Kenya.
Home vacation was around February. I was expected to go back to work on March, but I'm still around. So that's how it came about when the flights were shut down.
The father of two says life became tough. Working on a contract-to-contract basis back in the US, William was stuck alone and without any income, but too many hours with very little to do.
When I'm on duty, I make money. When I'm at home, I make no money. It's upon my own brain to come up with something.
William, however, says instead of giving up and wallowing in depression, he decided to get creative by making a living through his God-given talent, making art that he sold to friends and family in order to keep him afloat.
If you're not used to stay indoors for a long time, you can go under stress. You can have pressure. Being indoor alone, especially, is hard. Because most of them insist. Some who come to my house, because most of my friends are not from around, those who come to pay me a visit regularly, they give me this, sell me this, and I feel nice when somebody appreciates what I've done.
William, however, says in hindsight, he would not have had it any different, as the forced by circumstance 6 months vacation has been a blessing in disguise, as it created more time for him to spend with his relatives, whom he rarely spent time with, except for the 1 month in a year vacation.
When I came from February to now, I can say I've appreciated to be with my family, because we meet very few times in a year.
He now says he's excited and ready to go back to work after the resumption of international flights by President Uhuru Kenyatta, and with him, he carries the many lessons and experiences that he nurtured during his time in Kenya.
Not even him saying flights will be back. To hear the sounds of jets in the sky again, something nice. When you're in the bed and you hear the jets cruising, you're like, oh, they are back. Before the sky was total quiet.
They say a bad day is not a bad life, and for William, a tough season just made him tougher. For TV47, I'm Zainab Mohammed.
Indeed, that a bad day does not mean a bad life. And he was here for vacation, and then it turned out to be something, a completely different experience for him. Zainab, how was it just talking to him and, you know, learning about his experience?
His experience was very touching. At first, he thought that he's coming for 1 month, and shock on him, coronavirus happened and he had to be here for a whole 6 months. He's going back now, but he said it was not an easy experience. At first, you know, someone who's used to going to work, of course, expecting a salary at the end of the month, it was tough for him. But he says, I mean, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise.
Mudoka, you know, a lot of people, let me say the pandemic has forced a lot of people to dig deeper and see, especially talented people, see what more can I do apart from employment? What more can I do?
You know, Mumbi, you often say that when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
Right.
You know, and this is just another classic case of that. And, you know, it's easy to get stranded. It's easy to get lost financially, mentally when such things happen. And, you know, he's among the statistics of those who are negatively affected by COVID-19. But yet he's another valuable statistic of those people who've been able now to pick up the pieces, you know, rise from the ashes, dust themselves, move forward. What do I do? How do I survive?
Right. It's never the end of the story. And
yeah, and he actually said for him it was not more about the money, but also the mental health, mental wellness part. I mean, for him, sitting in the house alone, probably did not have a lot of family around. There was also cessation of movement. You know, there's coronavirus, now you have to stay in the house. It was hard for him. His family is in the US, and yeah, the mental wellness part was mostly what motivated him to actually start doing the art.
Thank you so much, Zainab, for that story. Quite inspiring.